I don't need my name in lights. I'm famous in my Father's eyes. Make no mistake.
I started thinking that it was almost 20 years ago that I first met Marti when I came to town to interview for the local Young Life area director position. In those early years, as a younger woman serving in ministry leadership in Lafayette, it was significant for me to be a part of a church with a woman who was serving in a senior leadership role. Marti, you may not know how much I was watching in those early years. As a young area director who was learning how to develop both men and women for ministry leadership with a kingdom vision, I was very much paying attention. You held up the value to all of us here that we are uniquely shaped and gifted by God for kingdom service. I watched you help people discover their God-given shape and how to use it for God's glory and His kingdom. Thank you for allowing me to bring local Young Life leaders to tag along with the Trinity crew to leadership conferences over the years and jump in a variety of different ways and places. You've also held up and modeled the principle of learning to recognize where God is at work and join with Him in what He is doing. Two significant experiences that helped shape me were when we were serving at the Cajun Dome after Hurricane Katrina with a group from California, and we were trying to figure out how to help connect those who had been displaced with churches and other communities around the country who could help. And the other was getting to know and work with Eric and Change Agent Network in Liberia. You and Heather were the ones who got on the plane to go and see, because it seemed like that God was at work, but no one was really sure. And then you were able to bring the rest of us along as individuals, as a church, and then that helped set me up to be able to do the same with the young people that I was working with in this community and through Young Life. We had no idea at that time there was already on the other side of the ocean in Liberia a Young Life and Change Agent connection that was going on and what God was doing. We were getting kids involved here locally, and the same thing was going on over there in Eric's schools, and we had no clue. In 2013, we went and we got to see for ourselves some of the story that God had been weaving and shaping, and that totally expanded my small vision. In recent years, now in senior leadership and ministry myself, it has been a gift and joy to collaborate together for God's kingdom in the church, in our community, across the state, and across the ocean in the country of Liberia. Really, I feel like there should be two men standing alongside me here today as we're talking about this. One being JR, who is the current area director for Young Life. Marti served as the local board chair alongside him in recent years. And the other being Eric, as we have worked and collaborated and dreamed and looked through logistics and all things together on how can we work together to expand God's kingdom, to reach kids and to take the gospel forward and to care for those in Liberia. Marti, we have been tremendously blessed here at Trinity by your leadership as the executive pastor. Your faithfulness to the Lord and steadfastness in ministry leadership has had a far reach. 20 years ago, I would have never imagined myself as a part of a kingdom work that crossed the community, the state, and even the globe. Thank you for leading me and us always to Jesus first, and then to others for the kingdom well beyond what we could have ever have imagined on our own. Incredibly grateful. Thank you.
Good morning, Trinity Bible Church. I first began attending Trinity not too long after it moved into this building. That was over 20 years ago. Not too long after I got started, the church was offering this program called networking. And it was designed to help you figure out what your spiritual gifts were, what your passions were, and your personality style, and where you were best suited to serve God. I thought it was about time that I got on God's plan, so I took the program. And that's where I met Marti Thomas. She was the leader. As she led us through the program, I thought two things. This is someone I'd really like to get to know, and she's doing something that I would really love to do. God blessed me with both things. Over the years, Marti has been my leader, my ministry partner, and best of all, my friend. As a leader, Marti is the fastest and most reliable decision maker I have ever met. She provides guidance without interference, which is a true demonstration of trust for the people she's leading. She's been a model of servanthood. I remember one time I came into the church looking for her, and she was back in the double classroom, and she was setting tables for an event that was going to happen that evening. And that really impressed me, that she truly modeled servanthood. She establishes a standard of excellence, which I really appreciate. And every time I did a program, a course, an event, a women's event, or a Christmas program, or Easter production, I would always look to Marti after it was over and look for that nod. And then I knew I'd hit the mark. As a ministry partner, we've done several things together. We taught Bible studies together. We planned women's ministry. We created our own version of the networking program, and we helped many people in the church figure out how God had designed them to serve Him. And we worked together on Operation Hurricane Katrina. We worked hard over the years, and we had a lot of fun. Best of all, I said Marti has been my friend. She's one of my favorite people to talk to. She's my James Bond buddy. She's my adventure buddy. Go, Thelma and Louise. She's tolerant of my dislike for LSU. That's a true friend. She's been a stabilizing force in my life. When my husband had a heart attack, when I had big decisions to make about moves and physical moves in my life and job changes. Who are you going to call? Well, you're going to call Marti Thomas, because she's got wisdom, is going to ask you good questions, and she's just going to make you feel like everything's going to be okay. Where Dennis has been the heart of Trinity Bible Church, Marti has been its backbone. And the combination of the two has resulted in a culture where ministries could incubate and grow organically. Good things happened on their watch. It's been a joy and a blessing beyond words to be a part of this past chapter of Trinity Bible Church. And I want to thank you, Marti Thomas, for being such a big part of my life. And I surely hope we're not done yet.
Almost forgot to take my mask off. Good morning. It's kind of hard to follow that. I mean, they've said everything, right? Most of you know that if anyone, staff, volunteers, church members, if anyone has a question that we don't know the answer to, what do we say? Ask Marti, right? So, how do you faithfully serve in ministry for over 30 years? Ask Marti. How do you make wise yet quick decisions? Ask Marti. How do you stay calm and bring order to chaos? Ask Marti. Do you need advice on how to lead well and empower others to lead? Ask Marti. How do you have fun but still follow the rules? Ask Marti. How do you treat everyone like they're your friend? Ask Marti. How do you always work hard to protect what you love? Ask Marti. Inquiring minds want to know, and Marti seems to always have the right answer, even if she was just winging it. She seemed to be very convincing. And quite honestly, just knowing that Marti gave her opinion was very comforting and reassuring because of the God-given wisdom that she had. Marti embodies grace, wisdom, and beauty, and she cannot be replaced. And that's why there are 3 of us on staff now doing parts of her job. Marti, as I see the unique, vital, and invaluable impact that you've had on individuals' lives and on Trinity as a whole, I can't thank you enough for paving the way for us. And I know that we're going to have lots of Ask Marti moments, but rest assured you've taught us well. And lastly, I want to close with this. There are not many people who can be described by quoting Proverbs 31, but Marti can. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she smiles at the future. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is always on her tongue. And although you're very charming and beautiful, Marti, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised, and that's you. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise. Well done, Marti, our good and faithful servant.
Thank you, ladies. Come on up, Marti. Now we need to give you some gifts. It would not be appropriate if we did not. Where is my lovely assistant? All right, here she goes. Vanna St. Cyr, come on up if you would. And so we have some gifts for you, Marti, to launch into this new season. Now, she already knows what they are, but for you it'll be a surprise, and we'll